Hi everyone.
Hi everyone.
Welcome to the Hagir Network and the Hagir Show. We are so excited to be here with you guys today. Before we get started with today's topic, we just want to say, hey y'all, hey,
Assalamu alaikum.
TikTok, Facebook. Please make sure you're following us on all of our platforms. We would love to know where you're watching us from and what you would like to hear. You can follow us on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and YouTube, and they are all labeled the same, the Hagir Network. Don't forget, the talent show is still going on. You can still submit your submissions until February 29th, all right? February 29th. You can drop it in the comments below under this live, or you can go to the contest post, which is pinned on the top of the page, and drop your talent there, or you can send an email. Today we're going to be talking about domestic violence and violence awareness, and yeah.
And we're going to be real. So if you are not ready to be real, you're in the wrong place. So assalamu alaikum. Today we are talking about domestic violence. حنواصل كل يوم ثلاثة. Every Tuesday we talk about violence awareness, and today is domestic violence awareness. So we have a whole list. Maya's gonna go through it in English, and I'll do my best to do Arabic. So stay. If you come, join us at any time and you hear a language different than what you're expecting, just be patient. We will say it in Arabic and English.
All right, so for our first, we're going to give you some stats on domestic violence. First one is, in the United States, an average nearly 20 people per minute are physically abused by an intimate partner, equaling to more than 10 million women and men annually.
So, Maya ذكرت أرقام the statistics or الأرقام بتاعة العنف الأسري هل بمروا بيها 20 شخص كل دقيقة، يعني 20 minutes 20 people per minute.
What?
That's a lot. 20 في كل دقيقة في 20 شخص بيحصل لهم عنف وabuse. So that total to 10 مليون 10 million women and men. 10 مليون رجل وامرأة بيتعرضوا للعنف في السنة. 20 شخص 20 people per minute في كل دقيقة 20 شخص بيتعرضوا للعنف الأسري، وده رقم ما بسيط، ده رقم كبير. That's a huge number.
Yes.
So
and that's combined. That's men and women.
Yeah.
So if you're currently suffering in a domestic violence relationship or situation, you're not by yourself.
You're not alone.
You're not alone.
Yeah. 20.
So our next key point is, according to the World Health Organization, globally, about 1 in 3 women have experienced physical and/or sexual intimate partner violence or non-partner sexual violence in their lifetime. 1 in 3 women.
من 3. أي 3 أشخاص. Just فكروا في الرقم ده. Think about this number. In every 3 people that you know, 1 of them is suffering from abuse, domestic violence, whether it's intimate, sexual, physical, or any kind of violence. 1 من 3 أشخاص بيتعرضوا للعنف الأسري في حياتهم. يعني أي 3 أشخاص أنت بتعرفهم فيهم 1 متعرض للعنف الأسري، وده أرقام ما صغيرة. That's not a small number,
right,
to think about. So talking about the statistics is one thing, and talking about what people go through and what they need to do to get out of any situation.
Right.
As always, what we say is, accepting the circumstances that happen to you, it is not okay.
Right.
You could go through anything in your life, but your reaction to it. So being abused is never your a result of your doing.
Right.
Going through domestic violence especially تتعرض للعنف الأسري أبدا هو ما نتيجة لحاجة أنت عملتها أو حاجة أنت عملتيها. As much as the abuser will try to make you feel guilty and responsible for the abuse that is happening to you, that is not accurate.
Right.
So that's one thing we need to remind. Number 3.
And number 3, domestic violence affects people of all genders, but women are disproportionately affected. About 1 in 4 women and 1 in 9 men experience severe intimate partner physical violence, injury, stalking, sexual violence, and they contract the sexually transmitted disease in that process.
1 من 4 نساء، 1 من 9 رجال. يعني 1 in 4 women، 1 من 4 نساء، 1 من كل 9 رجال يتعرضوا لعنف بشكل ما، يعني شكل كبير. severe خطر. عندنا ناس كتار أمثلة لناس فقدوا حياتهم. We have examples for people who lost their lives. Men tend to not report it. الرجال ما قاعدين يجوا يبلغوا عن العنف اللي بيحصل لهم. عشان كده الأرقام 1 من 10. Somebody gave us glasses. Ooh, you make us look cool. Thank you. So 1 in 9 men who will suffer from domestic violence, they did not report it because of the stigma, because of how people perceive when men come and complain about violence. They don't take it seriously.
Right.
Because of the notion that men are supposed to be strong, so they don't go through any kind of abuse or complain about it.
Right.
One of the things that, you know, we seen from the repetition of the injuries that happen to men or women who's going through domestic violence is it starts with maybe like there is signs, there is red flag, there is things that would tell you this person is an abuser or someone who's violent, and you keep giving them slacks, you know, you giving them time, and that with the time and with the forgiveness, you give them the power to continue. So basically you are giving them a new map on how they can control your life or continue controlling your life.
Right.
So that's when you need to get out. If you stay in, then when we see severe injury happens, death, you know, like injury that is resulting from you not being able to walk or do the things that you do. So number 4.
So number 4 says, many cases of domestic violence go unreported. It is estimated that only 34% of people who have been injured by an intimate partner receive medical care for their injuries. So what that is saying is that basically some people are ashamed or they don't feel like anyone will believe them, and they deal with the process on their own, which is extremely unhealthy. As we said in number 3, most victims, not most victims, but it was 1 in 4 may experience or catch a sexually transmitted disease.
الأمراض اللي بتنتقل عن طريق العلاقة الجنسية، مش كده؟ sexual transmitted diseases. ما بيحصل لها report. Fear of the society. When I work at the hospital، لما أنا كنت شغالة في المستشفى، عدد من الناس اللي بيجوا a lot of people who come with injury that I personally or anyone in the healthcare will know it is related to abuse, but they will refuse and deny it. You try to talk to them, but if they're not ready to talk, they're not going to say anything. So the excuses will be someone will come with a black eye and they will say, oh, I fell on the stairs. I like hit my face with like the chair handle, you see like a strangulation, you see marks, and they give you excuses. You have to pay attention to your coworkers or someone in your surrounding. If they come and they're always wearing like a turtleneck in the summertime, or they have any signs and symptoms of being abused, but they're not ready to talk about it.
Right.
And that's why a lot of people don't report. ناس كثيرين ما بيبلغوا عن العنف اللي بيحصل لهم، خوف من المجتمع أو خوف من نظرة الناس لهم. So they do not report the abuse because they're afraid of the retaliation. خايفين من الشخص اللي بيتعامل معاهم ب يعني عنف إنه يجي ويكون أعنف. And we know it could happen. A lot of people who are violent, when you report their violence, they might tend to more violence.
Right.
So that's why a lot of people will seek something called protection from abuse, which is PFA.
Right.
So if you are someone who's going through domestic violence, or someone you know going through domestic violence, you have to call the hotline, domestic violence hotline. You have to call, if it needed to be, you have to call the police, and you ask for something called protection from abuse.
Right.
أو الحماية من العنف. ده بيديك له البوليس أو بتديك له المحكمة، بيديك له المحامي، بيحميك، ما بيسمح للشخص إنه يجي على بعد أمتار محددة منك. ده ما دايما بيحمي، لأنه في أشخاص كثيرين وبالذات الناس الجايين من كلتشر مختلفة ممكن يتعدوا عليك حتى بالقرار بتاع البوليس ده. So even with you having a protection from abuse in place, PFA, they might reach you and you might get hurt.
Right.
So that's another reason for a lot of people not to report and not to talk about it or seek help. But help is available.
Yes.
Like there is the hotline. You will talk to someone who already know what to do.
Right.
And they will direct you. There is a stigma about shelter. A lot of people, when you talk to them, when you report the abuse, you will be in a shelter. They think in their mind the shelter is like a trashy place, a place that you're going to face a lot of consequences and struggles, and you know, just like you see in the movies.
Right, I was just about to say,
just like you see. So we're here to tell you it is not like that.
Right.
You know, the shelters are set. There is some shelters, especially for domestic violence, are set to keep the mother and the kids in one place, and it's just for women.
Right.
It is safe. It is clean. A lot of people do volunteer. I personally volunteer. We paint the shelter. We provide them with, you know, anything that they need. There is a place for you to get out and get your life together. While you're at the shelter, you will have a caseworker that is going to help you navigate. بيكون في شخص بيساعدك انك انت يعني مش بتقعد هناك حتعيش عمرك كله، لكن it will give you a chance to restart your life from the beginning. It will give you a chance for a caseworker or someone to help you find a job. بيساعدوك تلقى شغل، بيساعدوك تلقى سكن. They could help you find a home for you and your family. They will help you to go to school if you want to. And with that being said, my company, HSE Staffing, we had this for many years, scholarship. It's called HSE Second Chance. So HSE اسم الشركة بتاعتي HSE. عندي scholarship مع هاك الكوميونتي كوليدج اسمها HSE Second Chance ولا الفرصة الثانية. This is for someone who wants a second chance in life. And you have to be living in a specific in Harrisburg with going through domestic violence and wanting to get your life in track. There are many scholarships out there for people who are going through domestic violence or going through any kind of violence and they need help. There is scholarships in any college for someone who wants to better their life,
Right.
especially minority women. للنساء اللي في يعني من باك جراوند مختلفة، جايين من دولة ثانية، السود، عايزين يطوروا روحهم، مارين بعنف. Someone want to make their life better. You have to look for it. You have to ask. You have to go to the college that you want to be in and ask them if there are programs for you to help you better yourself and start over. So don't feel like this is the end of life.
Right.
A lot of people feel trapped that they have to stay where they at because there is no way out.
Right.
Just remember one thing. It might be so hard to see the light at the end of the tunnel sometimes. النور نهاية الطريق، النفق ده. Sometimes في بعض الأحيان الناس ما بتشوفه. You can't see it.
Yeah.
But it's there. Just like the darkest time in the day. That's when it gets really dark. The sun is gonna shine.
Yeah.
So اللحظة بتاعت الظلام الشديد في اليوم وفي الليلة هي اللحظة اللي حيحصل فيها الشمس حتجي طالعة. Just remember, always remember that, you know, there is a light at the end of the tunnel. You might not see it where you stand.
Yeah.
So you might just change your position so you can see that light.
Right. And every day, you know, by us talking about it and bringing education, not just to, you know, everybody here who's watching us on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Facebook, whatever you're watching us on, it's holding the abusers accountable. And that's the only way that we're going to see change is from us educating one another on it and then holding them accountable. Without accountability, you're just going to keep doing the same things, you know? It's kind of like a bully.
Yeah.
If you don't hold a bully accountable, they're going to feel like it's okay and keep doing it.
Cycle of abuse.
Yes.
And holding it accountable is not the job of the victim.
Right.
It's the job of all of us as a society.
Correct.
And thank you, Amira. Amira was just telling us here that she is a survivor, domestic violence victim who became a survivor. So I don't like people to stay in a victim mentality and being a victim for so long. So once you make the decision to get out, you are a survivor.
Yeah.
So Amira, thank you for being a survivor, for, you know, sharing your experience with us. And I hope everyone that have a story, whether it's a hard story or a bringing hope story, to share it with us.
Right.
One of the things that I really want to talk about today is, you know, making the victim feel bad for speaking out.
Yeah.
And, you know, that happened to me when I talk about my situation in 2008. I started talking about my domestic violence situation where I almost lost my life. And I lost my unborn child at that time. She's 16 years old, thank God now. But you know, that was the minute for me that I decided I need to get out of this. The minute that I saw my oldest daughter standing in the hallway, looking at me, getting choked, the life was choked out of me. And I was 8 months pregnant. That's the moment when I decided this is it. I'm either gonna die or I'm gonna raise my kids, both of my girls, to think it's okay to live like that.
Right.
So, you know, throughout this, me speaking out, speaking about it, I heard everything from don't air your dirty laundry. Don't talk about that. You need to let go. You know, you need to forget. You need to, this person was doing it because he was drunk. This person was doing it because of this excuses for the abuser. And no one was giving a reason to like, why would you support someone who hurt someone? And instead of standing by the victim, and instead of standing by the survivor and supporting them, you're supporting and enabling a behavior.
Right.
So my abuser was being enabled by the society, by the people around us, by people who said, I am not going to talk because this is a personal matter. And that's why I always say personal matter, and when you cross the line and abuse someone, you're private, and when you violate somebody else's privacy. So the minute you violate my privacy, my safety, there is no private here. So speaking about it, shedding light, it always get rid of whatever in the dark, everything looks scary. But when you shed the light on it, people are able to see. They're able to see the ugliness. They're able to see that, you know, it is not that scary. And by us talking about it as a society and as a community, you know, oh, a life ma حيتمسح, don't worry, the life will still be there. By us talking about it, we are strengthening each other. We are talking about it as victims, and we are talking about it as a society, so we can shed the light on the ugliness of abuse. Because when you shed the light, you are killing that darkness, right? You're making it come to life, and you are showing the abuser that it's not okay to do what they do. It's not okay, and you're not going to be accepted. But if the society turn their blind eye and they're not talking, they're not pushing it, that person is going to feel he got the support of the world, right? Then the second part of you speaking about it is when people tell you to forget and forgive, I'm always going to remind you, forgiving is for yourself. You forgive, بتسامح عشان ما تمشي, so your life can move on, so you don't get stuck in that, you know, sour spot. But do not forget. I will never forget what people did to me, and how you made me feel. And that's one thing that we don't want to do, because when you forget, you are going to come back and allow the same behavior to happen. You allow the same toxic people, abuser in your life, right? In في السودان بيقولوا لك عفى الله عما سلف. People talk about, oh, let it go, you know, this is happened, and it's get over it. Basically, get over it, right? No, don't get over it. Don't feel bad if your abuser got sick. I pray to God every day that justice, you know, happen here in the world. If there is justice, and some days I felt like, where is God? If you're here, you will show me. Because when someone is not doing something wrong and you still get hurt, then if there is justice, you want to see it in this life before you go to heaven or hell, because you might not see that person. You know, I'll be in the Ritz-Carlton hotel in heaven, but no. In all seriousness, you know, I would never forgive, and whatever happened,
you'll never forget.
I will never forget. And whatever happened to the abuser is a result of their doing. So don't let the society force you into feeling certain way or acting a certain way. You know, don't let them do that. Don't let them have control over you, and don't let that abuser continue to abuse you even after it's over. So moving on to the next one.
And our last one is saying, so survivors of domestic violence may face various challenges, including physical injuries, emotional trauma, financial instability, and long-term physiological effects. Like, it's not just one thing that's just not going to hurt your body because you were punched or you were hit.
Yeah.
You know, these are I want to call them like symptoms. These are symptoms that you may carry for the rest of your life. Trauma doesn't go away. You have to learn how to process your trauma, and then you have to learn how to, you know, overcome it over time. But it's always going to be there.
Yeah.
And the biggest thing for us as a community, like, you don't, just because you yourself have never suffered abuse in any type of way, it doesn't mean that you can't stand up for what's right.
Yeah.
Because it may take your voice, your cousin's voice, whoever's voice, to hear, for somebody to hear who is in a domestic violence situation and say, you know what, Hagir's right.
Yeah.
You know what, Maya's right. I need help. How do I get out? You know what I'm saying? So just...
Yeah. Hiba just commented that survivors experience a lot of body illnesses. And true, it is true. Amira here said, I work with victim survivors as an advocate, also a member of the, oh my goodness, the National Coalition Domestic Violence. Thank you, Amira, for everything you do. And that's one of the things. That's how you heal.
Right.
I also do the same thing. Amira, would love to have you. We do the violence every Tuesday, violence awareness, right? Domestic violence. So Amira, if you don't mind, join us, you know, next Tuesday or any Tuesday that you're available so we can talk.
Yeah.
Because one thing that you're not going to take away from me or any survivor is our voices.
Yeah.
We will always use that. That's the power. Your voice is a powerful tool.
Yeah.
So use it. We don't resort to violence. We will use our voices.
Yeah. Well, you can choose violence with your words.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
No. What I'm saying, us.
No, I know. we choose to fight
Yes.
abuse with violence. Yes.
Yes.
Verbal. We gonna speak it and let it be known that you are not right. So we will choose violence in that way.
Yes.
Yeah.
And we got another comment here. Domestic violence. Thanks. I am
From 49
control. Yep. So anyways, keep on talking, keep on sharing your experience, keep on sharing how hard it was for you to get out, and how did you maintain, what technique, coping mechanism that you used to go on with your life, whether that being like what Amira and I did. And that's Marvi. What you, like me and Amira did, we chose to be an advocate.
Yeah.
So I start working with the Domestic Violence Coalition and work with the area here. Then I started my nonprofit, Tomorrow Smiles. So that, you know, my way of raising awareness, I've been talking about domestic violence since 2008, and this will continue. So every Tuesday we focus on violence in general, and especially domestic violence.
Yeah.
But that's it's something you have to do every day.
Yeah.
And you start to be vigilant. You start to see things, and you will start, when you're talking to people, you will start seeing the signs, and oh my goodness, those are red flags, you know?
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, all you can do is continue to raise awareness, and we cannot have this directed towards the victims.
Yeah.
You have to educate the society to not accept those behavior, to speak out.
Yep.
We're not saying be the voice for the voiceless. I do not use that because you don't want to take the control away from them.
Right.
But you want to amplify. تبقى مكبر صوت. Amplifying their voices. تكبر صوتهم. مكبر صوت. Sound system. Whatever you be it. You know, share what you go through and what you use to like help others or help yourself, because there is something called PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder, or in Arabic, اضطراب ما بعد الصدمة. That's something you will never ever be okay from it. You will always have that. It might be lessons with time. بتقل بالزمن. لكن it will always be there. And it is the way you cope with it, how you made yourself able to go on with your daily life without carrying that heavy package and carrying that load on your back. You know, a lot of things like a sound, a smell. So many things will trigger, you know, the memory, whether it's been with the domestic violence or any kind of violence or any kind of issues, trauma that happened to you. So الصدمات, trauma, بحجمها كبير ولا صغير, it's going to affect you. How is it affecting you will differentiate between one person to the next, depending on their ability, قدراتهم. بعض الناس بيكون عندهم قدرة إنهم يعني to move on quickly, which is not a good thing, by the way. You have to let your body go through the whole phase, and there is no set time on healing. ما في زمن محدد عشان ما أنت تخلص فيه ال healing cycle أو القدرة على الشفاء. Some people stay on a denial phase for too long. في ناس بيقعدوا في المرحلة بتاعت النكران. Denial is نكران. ينكروا. They deny that happened to them. Some people stay in an anger phase. في مرحلة بتاعت الغضب. The anger phase. They stay too long in that. Some people will stay on a depression. في مرحلة بتاعت الاكتئاب. The depression stage. You may stay on that too long. Some people will never receive the acceptance أو التقبل. They won't get to the point where they accept what happened to them. And that's okay. Everybody heal differently. Everybody have their own way of dealing with trauma. كيف يعالجوا نفسهم ويعالجوا اللي حولهم. How to help yourself and help others. How to heal yourself. تشفي. Heal. تشفي. How to heal yourself and heal others. So don't rush the process. Don't rush how your body reacts. And like Hiba said, there is symptoms, body illnesses. A lot of people go through trauma. بيكونوا مارين بصدمات. بجسمهم بيظهر فيه أعراض المرض. Their body shows the illness for not just the physical trauma, but emotional trauma.
So I was about to clap really hard.
That's what you were thinking about? So the emotional trauma, and that happened to you, Maya, right? You want to share your experience or no? You don't have to share the whole experience, but you experience physical. You weren't able to walk. I think you talked about that before, right?
Like holding things in, you know. I guess you could call it a state of denial or whatever, but I wasn't able to walk for 2.5 years. That's a long time.
مايا دي ما كانت قادرة تمشي لسنتين. She wasn't able to walk for 2.5 years. 2.5 بسبب الضغط النفسي, because of all the emotional trauma that she was going through. الإيموشنال تراما أو الاضطراب النفسي ظهر بشكل جسدي. بقت ما قادرة تمشي ل2.5. For 2.5 years she wasn't able to walk.
And you don't even realize, you know, as the months and years went on, like you don't even realize what you're doing to yourself. And it was my dad who was like, hey, listen, you gotta let it go. If you can't let it go, you're going to hurt yourself and you're going to end up in a worse situation than you already are. So I learned the hard way. In 2.5 years of my life as a teenager, I had to crawl. I had to crawl to get food. I had to crawl to the bathroom. I had to, my little brother, we're 4 years apart, he helped me with everything. He would bring me food. He would wash my clothes. He would hang them up. So like, and you don't realize, like I didn't realize that I was depressed.
You bottling in the emotions.
I didn't realize it. I thought this was my way of dealing with it. This is how I deal with it. And to this day, as a 31-year-old, I still just be like, oh, I'm fine. Like, we had a conversation last week. Like, we went for a walk. And just that walk, I kept saying, I don't want to talk about it. I'm fine. And Hagir was like, no, you got to talk about it. And she's right. You may not be able to talk about it without crying, without being angry, without being confused. But once you're able to talk about it, it gets better.
Yeah.
And so I want to say to the survivors of any kind of abuse, okay? Your story may help somebody who's never experienced abuse before.
Yeah.
But your story of strength and resilience and the love that you have for yourself will help somebody else.
Yeah.
Whether it's for them to start their business or leave a job or
leave a toxic relationship or
they, you know, like your story can impact somebody else in ways that you never could imagine.
Yeah.
Hagir's story to this day, even after reading a book, every day I read a page, 2 pages, maybe 2.5 pages of the book, even though I've already read it. But I read it again because it helps me be able to not just understand, but her story helps me. I've never been through what Hagir's been through. But I'm about to cry. But her story, her story helps me in ways that I couldn't imagine. And it's important to have that.
Yeah. So, you know, when I said to her, you need to speak about it, this is going to help, right?
Yeah.
But don't feel like this is a magic answer. Yeah. It's not going to help you today. It might not help you today. You might talk about it and say, what are you talking about? Like, I just said how I felt and I cry and I'm still feeling like shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, I'm gonna say it. Yeah. Yeah. So you might say that.
Yeah.
But you know what? The next time you tell your story, it is not gonna be as, you know, hurtful
As potent.
and potent
Yeah.
as the first time.
Right.
And you keep speaking about it. This 3rd time, the 4th time, the 6th times, it's going to change and it will become easier. You know, it's not going to go away, but, you know, just like a scar, the first day you get the cut, it is deep, it's ugly, oozy, you know, all of that. You clean it, you take care of it, it will start to heal. And it might heal from the outside, but remember, the inside, it is still fresh and it's still not healing yet. So you gotta keep nurturing it and you gotta keep taking care of it until it truly heals from the inside out. I love how you look. If you don't have a friend that looks at you like that, get a new friend. Get a new friend, buddy. Get a new friend.
I love Hagir.
She does, and it shows. But yeah, you gotta heal it from the inside out, right?
Yeah.
And then it's gonna look still ugly, and that scalp is gonna come off. And then it's gonna fade. It's gonna fade. I know this is like maybe not the same thing.
It is.
But the scars, the inside scars, the emotional scars work the same way as the physical scars.
Yeah.
You have to help. You know, في Sudan, in Arabic, we say آخر العلاج الكي, the last resort to treat something might be burning that area. So if like you are bleeding, حصل لك قطعة في محل الشريان, you got a cut in your vein, your artery, anywhere, and it start bleeding. Sometime you might have to burn that area to stop the bleeding, right? You have to do that. Sometimes when you are diabetic and you start losing part of your foot to save the whole leg, you have to cut it. أبتر البتر. So بعض الأحيان الكي البتر, some things that you might not think are the solution, they are the solution. You have to take measures in order for the rest of your body to survive. Sometimes you just have to burn that or get rid of that finger or get rid of that hand, cut it, you know, so your rest of your body can heal. But regardless, whatever you do, keep moving and keep talking about it, keep sharing your experience, keep you know, healing and finding your coping mechanism, finding what makes you you know, want to wake up the next day.
Yeah.
Your life cannot end this way.
Yeah.
If you are going through domestic violence and every day you think this could be the day I will lose my life, you know, this is the day that I'm going to die, or this person is going to hurt me, or, you know, you're living miserable, that's not a way to live.
Yeah. We were created.
That's not a way to live.
We weren't created to die.
Yeah.
That's why our bodies heal ourselves.
Yeah.
When we get cut, and we get that scab that comes over. My dad used to tell me that all the time as a kid.
Yeah.
There's a lot to live for.
Yeah.
Like Hagir said in last week's video, your life is worth it.
Yeah.
But you have to see the worth. If you can't see it, nobody else is going to see it.
Yeah.
Okay?
In order for anyone to love you, you gotta love yourself first.
Which is hard. So she said it's so easy, guys, but
you gotta love yourself. I love myself. Look at yourself in the mirror. Let's do this practice. All of us right now. Say it after me. I love myself.
I love myself.
And I deserve to live.
And I deserve to live.
And be treated right.
And be treated right.
So, I mean, just like saying your vows to your husband or to be or whatever, say those vows to yourself. And don't expect people to treat you good if you're treating yourself bad.
Yeah.
If you don't love and respect yourself, no one's will. So, yes, I love myself. I deserve to be respected. I deserve to be treated right. So love yourself first.
Yeah.
And then, you know, expect people to love you. And if someone is treating you, making you feel bad, lowering your self-esteem, keep telling you you're ugly every day, keep telling you you're no good, you're nothing, spitting on you, hitting you, doing any harm, physically, emotionally, financially, sexually, you know, someone forcing you to do something that you don't want to do, or making you feel some type of way.
Yeah.
End that.
Yeah, cut it. Remove that.
Cut it.
And it's gonna be hard at first, but you have to choose to remove those people from your life. You have to choose to. Or they're gonna continue to hurt you until, like Hagir said last week, until you're rolling out in a body bag.
In a body bag. So it's your choice. You either live the house walking and having a hope for a new life, or living it in a body bag where you live, your kids, whatever you have, and you just end it. So sometimes you just have to think and remember, your surrounding truly matter. Your surrounding truly matter. If you have something that is not good, you know, يعني تفاحة بايظة, بصلة بايظة, throw it away before it infects and affect everything around you. I think we need to end it here. Please continue to share your experience. Please continue to love yourself, appreciate yourself, respect yourself, and don't demand any less from anybody. Do not allow anyone to treat you in a way that is less than what you deserve, and you deserve more. We are all resilient. And if you're going through domestic violence, remember the statistic we just talked about: 1 in every 4 women, 1 in every 9 men, 1 in every 4. How many in 4 minutes? In a minute,
20.
There is 20 women and men every minute get abused. So don't be a statistic.
20 people per minute.
20 people per minute get abused. So don't be a statistic. That's all I'm gonna say. Don't forget to
like, share, and comment, and send to all your friends, because y'all don't want me in y'all's inboxes asking y'all why y'all not following. And also, please don't forget about the contest, your chance to win the $100 pot. No matter where you are, we will find a way to get it to you. Also, we have a lot of people who tried to join the live video. If you would like to be a part of the live, please send us a message after the show and tell us what you want to talk about. We talk about autism, violence awareness, business, mental health, and then our Saving Tips Friday. If you have something that you would like to share, let us know in advance so that we can make sure that we add you to the live, okay? So with that, you can say your favorite line.
Hey, he said he's an artist, suit comedy. And this what we have been trying to talk about through art.
Oh, yes.
We want to have you.
Yes.
Suit comedy. Contact me or Maya info, INFO, info at Hagir Network, HAGIR NETWORK. We will drop it on every video. Contact us, and if that's what you do, you're trying to raise awareness. And that's another thing. I spoke to Muhammad Tirwiz, who does acting, and he provides awareness, violence awareness through his acting. And Sood Comedy provide art to raise awareness about domestic violence. So whatever you do, it doesn't matter who you are.
Right.
You're an artist, you're a singer, you are a poet, you are a writer. You're someone who used their talent to raise awareness in any topic. It doesn't have to be domestic violence.
Right.
Keep doing that and keep reaching out. We will highlight your work. Send us what you need, and we will share it. We will use it. If you want to be part of the live, come and join us Monday through Friday. And you, before I end it, you guys, you know, we love you. We appreciate the time you're giving us. You could be doing anything with your day, but you chose to be with us. And I don't take this lightly. So remember that you are the change. And remember to be the change that you want to see in the world. Keep using your voices. Keep shining. Keep supporting. Keep protecting each other. And keep being, you know, truly a change. And let your existence in this world matter.
Yes.
As it is. It does matter.
It does matter.
All right, guys. We will see you tomorrow.
Tomorrow
is what?
Tomorrow is...
We're going to be close, like
business.
personal. Tomorrow is everybody's favorite. It is business. So join us tomorrow, Wednesday, for Business Wednesday.